Hi, I'm Simon. You may not know me yet, so let me tell you the story real quick. 6 months ago, me and my girlfriend Hannah, we launched our first mobile app. No VC money, no founding, no audience, and really not clue what we are doing. Last month, the same app made over 25,000 USD in revenue. But here's what we didn't realize at the start. There are rules to this game. Every time we level up, the rules of the game completely changed. And the weird part? Every breakthrough doubled or tripled our revenue until we hit the wall. We would sprint ahead, then stop. Sprint ahead, then stop, until we cracked the code for this level. Looking back, if we knew what those stages were, we probably could have hit 20k per month in half the time. So that's why in this video I will walk you through the 3 levels of mobile app growth we went through. What they are, how to beat them faster, and why skipping those stages could burn you out before you ever get traction. Once you see them up, everything gets easier. As you can see, we have really 3 different stages. So let's start with first phase, which is the Wild West. Wow. So why the Wild West? Because, pardon my French, this phase is a bit. To better understand the struggles, first we need to understand what does it actually means to scale an app. We're able to scale an app by building systems. What's a system? It means you can do something fast, in bulk, and get predictable outcomes. So why is the first stage so hard? Because at the beginning you don't have systems. Sure, some systems you can borrow, like especially the tech side, but others, like distribution, usually have to build yourself from scratch. And that's often unique to your app, so you would need to crack the code for every simple app you make. Examples of systems. A system is how you handle support tickets in your app. A system is how you manage marketing and retention in your app. And the system is how you create content. Are you posting TikToks organically by hand as one person? Do you have a list of formats to streamline your creative process, which tends to be the most time-consuming part? Do you have a system to find and train UGCs to scale your content distribution? And here's the hard truth. You're building these systems without knowing if your app is even scalable. You're spending time, energy, sometimes money on faith. You just have to believe it, test, and figure it out. By the way, that's why so many apps don't make any money. Technical people build apps, treat ASO as their main distribution engine, which doesn't have any sense, post 15 TikToks in total, from which no TikTok goes viral, and they abandon the app and start building next one, never actually figuring out the first step, which is the distribution. Let's now move to the second step, which is product laboratory. So this step is already much more fun than the first one, unless you're masochist. In this case, this one probably is the funniest for you. But once we hit the 5 to 10k per month, it actually means that there's some traction. It actually means that you can probably take it further and scale it at least to like 10 or 15k per month from what I see. Obviously, there are some other challenges here. First one being is that you don't know how far you can take your app yet. A good rule of thumb is just compare yourself to other apps in the same industry to see how far you can push it. There's also a high chance that up until now you were focusing mainly on marketing. Don't worry, it's good. But now it's time to make the product better. Why? Because at the end of the day, the product is what you're selling, and if it's bad, retention will be bad, reviews will be bad, there will be a lot of support tickets. Overall, your life will be stressful and miserable. Now, for a second, let's look at the retention and how does it impact your brand and your bottom line. As you can see, we're taking 100 users in this example with different retention percentage. Retention simply means that someone paid for the next period in your app. The best apps in the industry have around 80 to 85% retention. As you can see, middle one 50% and the one that sucks 30%. And look at the cash collected difference here. If we have 100 users with 85% retention for 3 weeks with subscription price $10 per week, you'll end up with 2200 USD. If you have 50%, 870. If you have 30%, 470. It means that from the same app, this user who really figured out the retention and built a good product earns 5 times more cash. The reason you don't want to build a super product from the startup is because it's a gamble. If you're doing this, you're like a poker player. Because with all due respect, even if you're 100% sure that you know what your customers want, yeah. At this point, you often don't even know if you'll have customers. And if you want to grow and build wealth steadily, you need to make decisions with smallest risk and highest possible reward. So now, you tell me which option is more risky. A. Invest more time into building a product that you don't know if it is scalable at all and you don't know what features people would like to see. Or B. Invest more time into building a product which you know is scalable, and instead of building what you think people want, you actually build what people want because you already have users and they can just tell you. Hopefully, you chose B. Now, how do you actually improve their retention? Unfortunately, there's no simple way around that. There's this book called Hook by Nir Eyal about creating products with high retention, and the most valuable concept I've learned from it is activation point. Basically, every app has its activation point after which user starts to see that the app is useful and he's getting hooked. For example, on Twitter, they found out that their activation point is following 17 people whose content is interesting for you. That's why immediately after creating an account, they tell you to follow some people because otherwise the app is useless for you and you just leave. For example, in our app TapNote, the main activity user can take is creating note followed up by creating quizzes, flashcards, podcasts, etc. That's why we monitor it. And if user didn't create a note for, let's say, 1 day, we'll send him a push notification and an email. We really want to make sure that he creates a few notes and see the value of the app. Otherwise, what are the chances that he'll keep paying? Now, how do we make these decisions? Ideally, they're backed up by data. There are a lot of different services that let you do that. My personal choice is Amplitude. This is a super deep topic, so if you would like me to make a video on app analysis and maximizing different KPIs like conversion, retention, etc., let me know in the comments. Third stage. Who is your Pokemon? Let's see. Distribution machine. This step is, I think, the most pleasurable so far. Mainly because at this point you know what type of content you need to post and your product is good enough to deliver value. Maybe you have already noticed, but growing the app as a solopreneur works like a swing. You build a product which is bad but not terrible, then you focus on marketing to validate it, then you focus on the product to improve the bottom line, then you scale marketing to explode your bottom line, etc. Right now we will talk about how to score your 5 figures months, which is 10k per month. You're now ready to scale it with more organic content by hiring UGCs and pump those views with paid ads. Currently, the biggest challenge you will have with paid ads are creative. You need to be able to split out a lot of creatives. And here comes the UGC army and gives you triple win. They get you organic views, they test the creative, because if something makes a lot of views on organic, it means the creative is good, and then give you videos you can scale with paid ads. Again, the topic is quite deep with a lot of different directions you can take, so if you would like me to make the video about it, leave the comment. Back to building UGC army. Ideally, you should have 3 to 5 creators making at least 3 pieces of content a week. You give them the formats you've already tested and you manage them. Or you can always use some sort of marketplace to do it. It will just cost you more money. At this point, getting to 10-20k per month should be just a matter of pushing through and generating enough traffic. Alright, ladies and gents, so here it is, full roadmap on how we got to 25k revenue with no sugarcoating. I hope you liked it. Let me know if there is a specific topic you would like me to talk about, and see you in the next video.